Something for everyone. That's a common phrase often used when trying to persuade a group of people to attend your event. It's a simple phrase that holds no real weight. Vegetarian at a barbecue, just toss them a cabbage. Grandparents at a theme park, show them to their exclusive bench. But when I look at anime and I explore the medium further and see the massive variety in series and genres, whether you're young or old, male or female, regardless of your interests, I believe there is indeed something for everyone in anime. So Lance Armstrong, if you're watching this, put down that syringe, because I've found the anime for you.
今日もまた涙を拭った必死こいた手にするアンサー自分自身すら見失った踏み外した乗り越えた
But before we get onto that, it's probably best if I explain this format. When I go to watch a series, I will always sit through the first 3 episodes to determine whether I want to continue. Whilst first impressions are often based on the first episode of an anime, I feel that the best way to get the full essence of where a show is going is from those first 3 episodes. A first impression, a second thought, and a third decision. Together they make up the Vital 3. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the series at hand. Yowapeda is a sports anime about bicycle racing based on a manga by Wataru Watanabe. The anime, however, was produced by TMS Entertainment. You may know them from their work on Lupin III, Detective Conan, Bakugan Battle Brawlers, and you might have even heard of their small underlooked film known as Akira. So without further ado, I present the Vital 3 review of Yowamushi Pedal. Yowamushi Pedal is set, of course, in a high school. This high school is set atop a large hill with 2 slopes going down it. But how is this relevant? Well, due to the subject matter of the show being cycling, these slopes are highly significant. With one being far steeper than the other, the ability to ride through it is a prestigious thing for the cyclists here. So when generic wimpy otaku protagonist Onoda Sakamichi is able to do it with no problems, it's quite the feat. Whilst the story starts with Onoda trying to reform the anime club, even though it's not covered in the Vital 3 episodes, we can safely assume that he's going to join the bicycle racing club. However, when watching episodes 1 and 2, I was very skeptical over Watanabe's reason for Onoda's cycling ability. It's stated early on that Onoda cycles to Akira every day, and it's quickly realised that this is a very large distance, shown through multiple characters not believing him when he tells them. But although I didn't feel this was a strong enough reason initially, as his determination to reform the anime club and find friends to talk to starts to become more prevalent, it shows that he has a reason to go there every day, and a reason to try and get there as fast as he can. That's a character dynamic that I really want to see evolve as the series goes on. Another thing I was worried about starting the series is whether cycling was a deep enough sport to be interesting all the way through. I did not want to see this in the same situation as Free, where the swimming in narrative was minimal and it was supported purely by its character interactions. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing particularly wrong with that. I just know that Yowamushi Pedal has the potential to balance the two and provide a really well-rounded show. And in episode 2 and 3 they completely dispelled my worries as the cycling club manager KANZAKI MIKI commentates the race. It is common for sports anime to have a character on the sidelines to explain what's going on. This is in order to help the viewers unfamiliar with the sport in question understand what's going on, and in this case KANZAKI really demonstrates the depth that cycling has, including the mechanics and functionality of a bicycle, as well as the techniques involved, and she's only scraped the surface in these 3 episodes. For now, they've chosen to start out the first few episodes with a small cast consisting of 3 primary characters instead of introducing the entire cycling team right up, which is a sensible decision as it makes the series easier to get into if the characters are introduced periodically rather than all at once. The characters introduced thus far are protagonist Onoda Sakamichi, cycling expert Imaizumi Shunsuke, and the club manager KANZAKI MIKI. So, let's get profiling. Onoda Sakamichi is a first-year high school student and is the protagonist of the show. His main standout feature is his obsession with anime, manga and other things associated with otaku culture. However, he doesn't have any friends to talk about these things with, which introduces his motivation to reform the high school anime club. That's something important to remember. Whilst his goals of creating this anime club may seem to be just a simple MacGuffin, it plays a lot into his characteristics. Keep reminding yourself of this motivation because it's what drives him to cycle. However, this motivation isn't completely about the anime club, as we find out at the end of episode 3.
だけです。どうしても兄犬作りたいだけなんです。僕は友達いないから。
That's it! That's the clincher that evokes the emotional response. I kind of found Onoda to be a somewhat dislikable character from the first episode. I found him to be a very weak character and very generic. But after introducing his motivation of just wanting friends, I want him to get to that point. I want him to join the cycling club, and I want them to be best buds. Not just because the story would be boring otherwise, but because we've been made to care. And when a story can do that so early on, it's most definitely a plus. Imaizumi Shunsuke is, well, you might call him Onoda's rival. Being the first one to notice Onoda's cycling talents, he challenges him to a race up the infamously steep slope up to school. Now let's take a step back. Remember how Onoda has never had any friends before? Imaizumi's challenge is absolutely key in involving both of them as characters and building up the interactions. Whilst Imaizumi by all means could be the standard unsociable and cold character, Watanabe says fuck that and creates an entertaining, strong character with the potential for strong character relationships. In these 3 episodes, he played the straight man to Onoda's antics, and that was a great way to start the show off. KANZAKI MIKI is the club manager of the bicycle racing club and provides the commentary for the action scenes within the show. Through this commentary, she really shows that bicycle racing is a much deeper sport than I previously thought. Couple this commentary with her eccentric personality and you get some really energetic and natural explanations of what's going on. You see, KANZAKI is absolutely obsessed with cycling, and it's her reason for approaching Onoda in the first place, and then going to watch them race. She's also the person who introduces the members of the bicycle racing club to us briefly. However, the way she's built as a character means that there isn't much room for any development, and at the moment, she seems to be a very shallow character. But at the same time, she's a very likeable character, so it could go either way really. As for the rest of the cast, I can't really comment based on not enough screen time, but taking these 3 as a sample, I am definitely excited to see the rest being introduced. Yowapeda doesn't have anything particularly special in the visual style. Whilst it does use the typical changes in art for the social sequences that are very well done, the race just wasn't very interesting to watch and was mostly supported by its great soundtrack. No, I'm not saying this should have resulted as flashy beams of light and stuff, but I would have liked to see some more sharp cinematography to grab my attention consistently. It's not a major problem at the moment, but it will really need to take a step up further into the series. That being said, this was my only notable issue with the presentation. It doesn't really step out of the box, but it doesn't really need to. I enjoyed these 3 episodes of Yowapeda. Although the main plot hasn't been completely realised yet, from what I've seen of it and the characters shown thus far, I can tell that this is going to be an enjoyable and entertaining show to follow. So the verdict for Yowamushi Pedal is... keep watching with excitement! The main reason why I'm so excited about watching further into Yowapeda is the characters. The fact that they've already introduced 3 really entertaining characters shows that there's more great interactions to come, and that amazes me. Thank you for watching the Canipa Effect. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. But right now, I'm going to go watch episode 4.